Hey, this is Lewis from Oxygen, and today I am proud to announce the availability of the first alpha of Oxygen 3.0. Oxygen 3.0 is a massive update and includes WooCommerce integration. We have individual blocks for building product pages, shop pages. We have global WooCommerce styles. You can now drag and drop your way to a totally custom layout for every single part of your WooCommerce store. We have a visual loop builder, a repeater element. You can visually build loops in Oxygen, loop through an ACF repeater field, loop through a custom post type, loop through anything that you want. And we have a Gutenberg integration. You can now visually build Gutenberg blocks in Oxygen. You can then edit that content directly in Gutenberg. This is the ultimate client mode because your clients will never touch Oxygen. They'll never even see it. Yet they can actually edit the content, the images, the icons without breaking the design. Anyway, this is not like the previous alphas. A lot of people say, oh, it's an alpha, but it's actually stable to use it on a live site. Do not do that. If you do that, you're an idiot. This is a major update. Tons of stuff is broken. Builder UI is going to be super janky. Things are totally going to break. So please report the bugs to us on our GitHub page. And happy testing. Okay, let's crack into it. Okay, let's take a look at the WooCommerce functionality. So I've got a WordPress install here. I got a bunch of sample WooCommerce products. Let's go ahead and create the templates in Oxygen to display those. So I'm going to go to Oxygen, Templates. I'm going to add a new template, and this is going to be my product template. So we've got a bunch of WooCommerce elements now that are going to allow you to design, to arrange, to configure your WooCommerce product layouts, however you want. So, okay, we're going to call this product. Inherit our header and footer from the main template. And where does this template apply? Singular products. Okay, let's go ahead and save this and edit with Oxygen. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in a section. And then when WooCommerce is installed and you have the WooCommerce extension for Oxygen installed, you're going to go over to WooCommerce. It's going to appear here. And here are all of the WooCommerce elements. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a product builder element. And by default, this is just going to give you a default layout for a WooCommerce product. Now, if you want to customize this, you've got all your available product elements, so you create any layout you want. You could add in the title individually, the description, etc. So let's go ahead and create a two-column layout similar to the default one. So we're just going to go ahead and go to Basics, Columns. Let's make that 50-50. So this is going inside the product builder. And then inside the first column, let's go ahead and put a product gallery. So let's go to WooCommerce, product images. And then let's go ahead and add in a product title. Let's add in the product price. Let's give it a little space from the title. Let's move that down. Let's go ahead and add in the add to cart button. Space that out a little bit. What else do we want to add in here? We can add in the reviews. So if the product has any reviews, those will show up. So we got a product rating. If there's no rating, just nothing's going to appear here. Let's go ahead and add in product meta. Let's go ahead and drag that down below the button. And then we've got options to customize these controls, right? So maybe you want a horizontal layout for your meta. You can just choose that. You want to adjust the typography for the labels. You go in, you could set the colors, as you wish. Okay, let's space this out a little bit. Let's go ahead and add in the product tab. So we're going to add that into the product builder below the columns. So let's go to product. Where are my product tabs? Product tabs. Let's give these a little bit of space. We could change the layout. We could do, we could change the colors. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Okay, so here's our product layout. Let's go ahead and add in the related products below these tabs. Let's go related products. And if there are no related products, obviously that's just not going to appear. And then let's space that out a little bit, give it 50 pixel space. Oh, you get the idea. So that's how you build a custom product layout. Let's preview some other products here. Let's go t-shirt with logo. And there we go. Here's our t-shirt with logo. Now we also have WooCommerce global styles. So instead of having to tweak the individual styles of all these elements to get these buttons to match your site, what you can do is go to Manage, Settings, Global Styles, WooCommerce, and now we can get all this to look the way we want from one place. Okay, so let's make the buttons use the same color we're using elsewhere on our site. So let's go to button, primary CTA. Let's change this to a purple. Let's do hover color is also going to be a slightly different purple. Tertiary CTA, we're going to make that purple as well. And we could also set these two global colors as well. You can just choose the global color we're already using down there. Okay, and then for the button radius, we're using rectangular buttons elsewhere on the site. So let's just have a button radius of 0. And this would apply to every button, as you can see, right? Radius, no radius. Okay, let's go back to links. We're going to do the same thing for our WooCommerce links. And we're going to, okay, let's customize the inputs. Instead of having a radius for the input, we're just going to have no radius. And let's say instead of having a white input with a border, we want like a gray input. We'll just use the same input color as the border color. And now as you can see, we've customized the input. Okay, that looks a little dark, so let's lighten that up a little bit. And there we go. Focused input, we should probably be using purple. Okay, and there we go. So now we've customized our WooCommerce styles globally. Let's go ahead and save this and take a look on the front end. And there we go. Now, needless to say, this is buggy. This is an alpha. So don't expect all these elements to work perfectly. Expect that some of the controls aren't going to work or they're not going to work correctly. Some parts of WooCommerce aren't going to be stylable yet. Like, I mean, this obviously looks wrong with these spaced out to the left. Shouldn't be that way. So expect in future updates that we're going to be continuing to refactor and tweak the WooCommerce CSS and the available style controls. So Alpha 2, Beta 1, etc. is likely to affect the way the WooCommerce elements that you use to build a site are going to look. Not that you should be using this for live sites anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and build the shop page. So we're going to go create a new template. Let's go to archive. It's going to apply to the archive for product and the taxonomy archive for the WooCommerce taxonomies, like product tags, product categories, product tags. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and inherit the main template, save this, and then we'll go ahead and build the shop page layout. Oh, and I should call it shop as well. So let's go ahead and add in a section. And then for a shop page, we're just going to use the product list element. So archive and product list, we'll use products list. And here we go. Here is our shop. And if we want to customize the layout or the image styles, whatever we want to customize, you can do that here. Let's say we want to use 3 columns or 5 columns. Yeah, 5 columns looking pretty good. We can do that. And maybe we want to customize the button colors, star rating colors, etc. We could do that over here. I'm not going to do that right now. And as you can see, the global styles are also applying here. So if we wanted to go to, say, manage settings, global styles, WooCommerce, and maybe we wanted our secondary buttons to be a different color, we could do that. There we go. Okay, that's the shop page. That's pretty simple. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and create the My Account, Checkout, and the Cart pages. Let's go back to the admin. And now let's go to Pages. And let's set up the Cart page. And right now, this is just the default WooCommerce cart page rendered with a shortcode. Let's override this by editing this page in Oxygen. Okay, let's go ahead and add in a section. And let's go ahead and add in the shopping cart element. And here we go. Here is our WooCommerce cart. And if you want to customize this page, you can. Now you can add whatever you want in Oxygen here. So if you want to add in a heading, if you want to add in a notice about, something's on sale, you want to display testimonials from customers over here to maybe increase your conversion rate. Basically, by doing this, you can get sort of a customized checkout flow. Put any elements you want on your cart, your checkout, your account pages, in addition to customizing the styling. And of course, notice how that our global colors have come through here. So this already looks good without any styling. So instead of having the default, ugly WooCommerce styles and then having to tweak every element and spend 8 hours to try to get a consistent look, All you have to do is set up your colors, your radiuses in the global styles over at Manage Settings, Global Styles, WooCommerce, and everything you build in WooCommerce is just going to look good right out of the box. Okay, let's go ahead and save this, and then let's go ahead and create the checkout page. So go back to Pages, edit the checkout page, and edit with Oxygen. So let's go ahead and add in a section, and then add in the checkout element. And here we go. Let's go ahead and give this sort of a light gray background. It'll make it look a little better. And let's say you wanted to increase your conversion rate by maybe displaying, testimonials on this page. Let's go ahead and put this in a columns element. Let's go with 2 columns. Let's say we're going to put the checkout element in the first column. And then let's say in the second column here, we'll make it a little narrower. Let's say we go like 20%. And over here, you could put your money back guarantee seal, your testimonials, whatever you want. And this way you get customized checkout page, checkout flow. Okay, let's go ahead and save this and then play around with the shop on the front end so you can see what we've built in 10 or 15 minutes. Here we go. Let's go over to the shop page. We've got our products. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these products. We've got our t-shirt. We've got our tabs, our reviews. You can leave a review. Basically, it's WooCommerce in Oxygen with individual elements so you can build out these pages exactly as you wish. Let's take a look at the cart. Let's go ahead and go to the checkout. And there we go. WooCommerce in Oxygen. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the new repeater element. So you go to Add, Basics, Repeater, and this is a visual loop builder. You can visually build repeaters and loops in Oxygen. So what I'm going to do here is create a list of all of these properties. I have a properties custom post type set up. I've got 6 properties in here. In each property, it's got its address, featured image, and a few advanced custom fields for bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and price. So let's go ahead and set up a design for this in Oxygen. So we'll go ahead and add a section. We'll go ahead and add in a repeater. And let's go ahead and in that repeater, we're going to add in an image. This is going to be the featured image for the post. So we'll just add in the image. And then what we're going to do is choose data and featured image. Let's insert that. And now you can see we've got a list of all the images for each one of these properties that we have here. Okay, let's below the image, let's add in the address. So I'll just add in a heading. And let's go ahead and double click that. Insert data. The address is in the title, so we'll insert that title. Click outside of it, the repeater will refresh, and now we've got the address of all these properties. Let's go ahead and space this out a little bit. Let's drag that down. As you can see, that's obviously applied the space to all the elements in the repeater. Let's make it look a little bit better. So let's say each one of these divs is going to be, okay, let's go to the repeater. Let's say we're going to stack the repeater horizontally, but we're going to allow them to wrap. And then each one of these repeater divs is going to be 33.3% width, so we get 3 columns. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to space these out. So we're going to apply, say, 40 pixels padding. Okay, let's turn the size down on this a little bit. And let's give it a line height of 1.2. Okay, now let's do the bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. So let's add another div in here. Let's add a little bit of space to that div. And we're going to add a text element. We're going to call this bedrooms. And then we're going to insert data, custom field. Key is going to be bedrooms. Let's insert that. And okay, after this, we're going to add in another one for bathrooms. So let's go ahead and duplicate that. We'll call this bathrooms. Rather go back in, I'm just going to type in bathrooms because I know the name of the field. And voila, there we go. Let's stack these horizontally. Let's give this a little bit of space. So we'll give it 20 pixel margin. Let's give this 20 pixel margin as well. And let's duplicate this one more time. We're going to have square feet. Square feet, and I forget the name of that field, so we're going to go insert data, custom field, And we should have a square foot custom field. Yeah, there we go, square feet. And okay, maybe we should stack these vertically. And probably we want to display the price too. Let's display the price above this heading. So we'll duplicate that heading. Insert data, custom field, price. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And there we go. There is our visually designed repeated list, advanced custom fields, custom post type, all built 100% visually in Oxygen. And by the way, these repeaters work with the advanced custom fields repeater field type as well. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, let's take a look at the advanced custom fields repeater functionality. So I've got a recipes post type here. We've got a bunch of recipes in here. So okay, I'm looking at this recipe. We've got a recipe title, and then we've got the advanced custom fields with an ingredients repeater. We've got many ingredients. Each ingredient can have a name and an amount. So I'm going to say we're going to have one last ingredient in here. It's going to be the souls of babies, and we're going to need 17 of those to complete this cake. Now let's go ahead and create a repeater element in Oxygen to actually output this ingredients list. So here I'm editing the template that applies to all the recipes. Let's go ahead and add in a section. Let's go ahead and add in a repeater. And for a repeater query, we're going to change it from the default query to use the ACF repeater, and then all the available ACF repeater fields will show here. I'm going to choose the ingredients field and apply query parameters. And now what we can do is just add in a text element to the repeater. And let's go ahead and double click that to edit, insert data, repeater field, and which field do we want in the repeater? We're going to say the name, so this will be the ingredient name. Now we've got a list of all the ingredient names, and let's go ahead and then add in the ingredient amount. So we'll add another text element, and let's double click this and say insert data, repeater field, amount, insert. And okay, let's go ahead and stack this thing horizontally, put space around the items, or I should say space between. Let's go up to this repeater div and change the maximum width to say 400 pixels. And then let's go ahead and change these amounts to be, let's make them bold. And there we go. Here is our advanced custom fields repeater, advanced custom fields data repeated in Oxygen using the repeater element to loop through it. Okay, lastly, I want to show you our new visual Gutenberg block builder. That's right. In Oxygen, you can now visually build blocks that you can use in Gutenberg. So you're going to go to Oxygen block library. If you don't see that, you'll have to go to settings, library, check make this WordPress install a design set. And once you save your settings, you'll be able to go to Oxygen block library. And from there, you can add a block and design it in Oxygen. So I've already created a few here, but let's go ahead and create another one. So I'll go add new. I'll just call this my block. Let's go ahead and save that. Edit with Oxygen. And okay, let's go ahead and design a Gutenberg block. So I'm just going to add in a section. I'll call this my heading. It'll be editable in Gutenberg. This text will be editable in Gutenberg. Let's go ahead and add some columns. Let's do 50% width here. Do heading text over here. Let's put an image in here. And now you could hand this off to a client. They can add this block in Gutenberg. They can edit the text. They could edit the image. They could edit icons, but they can't actually go into Oxygen and mess this up. So we've now got the ultimate client mode in the history of WordPress ever. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. And let's go ahead and build a page with these Gutenberg blocks. So I'm going to go over to pages. I'll add a new page. I'll call this my page. And if we were going to hand this off to a client, we would go into Oxygen settings, we'd go to the role manager, and we would disable Oxygen. So your clients never see Oxygen, yet they go right over here, Oxygen blocks. And now they can add some blocks. Let's add my block. Here we go. Okay, welcome to Gutenberg with Oxygen. It's actually pretty cool. And then let's say you want to add an image. You just click your image. You go into the WordPress media library, or you just upload a photo. And here we go. Let's publish this. And here we go. Here's our Oxygen block editable in Gutenberg. And by the way, now if we went and edited the original block, that would actually take effect everywhere the Gutenberg block is used. So let's go back here. Let's click the block. And if you're an admin, if you have permissions to use Oxygen, it'll show edit my block in Oxygen. You can click this to open up Oxygen and edit this block. If you disable the user's access to Oxygen in the role manager, they will never see this. Okay, let's edit this block in Oxygen. All right, let's just swap the order of these columns, and we'll do something dumb like, change the background to gray, just so you can see we did something. Okay, let's save that, and now if we actually went back and took a look at this page, there we go. Changes have taken effect. So, okay, let's build a complete page in Gutenberg using these blocks. And notice that our text stayed, even though we edited the block. Since we didn't change the text elements or add new text elements, whatever text the user's already entered in, whatever image they've entered in Gutenberg, that lives. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to, let's make a new page. Call this another Gutenberg page. And let's go over to Oxygen blocks. Okay, let's add in hero number 1. Let's add in basic content. Let's add in, what else do we want to add in? Content number 1. Let's add in standard call to action. So, okay, so now these blocks they got icons, they got links. Okay, let's say we want to swap this icon out. You just mouse over these settings on the right, and it shows you what you can actually change. So, okay, we want to change the icon. Let's browse icons. Let's use a different icon. There we go. We changed the icon. Okay, we want to change the link. Let's set the URL. Click Change URL. We can open the WordPress link picker. And there we go. We are now editing this in Gutenberg. Okay, let's go ahead and edit. Let's change this icon. Save it. Okay, you get the idea. We only allow the user to edit the text, images, icons, link URLs, background images. So your client can customize the site, build pages on their own. They cannot break the design. You can set it so they can never touch Oxygen, and they can add and edit pages visually in Gutenberg. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then if you want to convert some existing designs to a block, if you didn't initially create a block library, if you were just in Oxygen, you go to the structure panel, any page, and click copy to block, give a name for your block like my custom block, and that's now going to show up in the block library. If we went over to block library, that would appear there. Okay, a couple notes before I wrap this video up. This is an alpha, so please report the bugs to us. You can do that github.com/sofly/oxygen-bugs and features. Create a new issue there, give us steps to reproduce the bug, and that way we can get it fixed before we release 3.0 final. A couple of notes about this alpha itself. We are aware that the repeater is super janky and that it refreshes whenever you add elements to it. Obviously, that's really annoying. We're going to get that fixed in the next alpha or beta so that when you use it, the UI feels smooth. As far as the WooCommerce elements, again, I know I said not to use this on a live site, but some of you are going to do it anyway. Don't do it because we're going to be refactoring the WooCommerce CSS and changing the available UI controls. Our goal is to streamline the controls so they're more simple, give you more power in the global styles, make the controls that you need to be on an individual element be there. But a lot of that kind of stuff is going to change. We're also going to be adding more options to style the parts of WooCommerce that you may not yet be able to style. You might be styling a certain WooCommerce element and realize, okay, I can style 90% of it, but I can't style a certain heading. Let us know about that on the GitHub page, but also we'll probably catch all that stuff in our own testing. For the Gutenberg integration, it's going to look pretty close in Gutenberg, but it can never be perfect. Don't tell us that. We know that's the way Gutenberg is. Unfortunately, the way Gutenberg's architecture is that the CSS that is loaded in the WordPress admin applies to every single Gutenberg block, and the CSS that applies to every single Gutenberg block also will apply to the WordPress admin. So we've done what we can to try to get it looking as consistent as possible, but it's never going to be 100% pixel perfect until Gutenberg decides that they're actually going to implement an iframe instead of doing it the way they've done it. Of course, on the front end, it will look pixel perfect, exactly like you have designed it in Oxygen. Okay, again, this is Lewis from Oxygen. Happy testing, and thank you so much for watching.